Do you want early access? Do you want uncut reactions? If so, then check out our Patreon. Link in the description down below. All right.
Ah, that's hot.
Oh, yeah. Ha ha ha. Yeah. So, for those of you wondering what Nick is,
just straight up has like the chick's like midriff on the screen.
yeah,
right
just
now.
just her her abdomen, her upper body, like from here down, which I know on me is not a very pleasing sight, but on her it's just like, okay. But Steins Gate, a lot of people are glad that we're jumping into this, but there's a lot of other people out there saying we should watch the English dub of this, which...
See, that's what, like, Dodo said it has a lot of his favorite actors in it.
Yeah, I know J. Michael Tatum is like plays the lead in it, and I know that a lot of people like J. Michael Tatum.
But I mean, like, I don't know, we didn't really talk about it before starting this one.
We didn't. We just jumped into the dub, or the sub, because we're just used to watching subs.
Like, it was just what was here. Also, it's a lot easier for me to edit anime that is subtitled. I'll just tell you all that.
Because, you know, he's able to...
I can only do 15 seconds at a time, so scenes that you would probably see in our reaction, if it was a dub, are going to be cut shorter in spots due to, like, me having to fit full sentences of dialogue and make the context sound like it makes some semblance of sense.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, where we're obviously an English channel, like, I know that the Japanese is going to be way off because of this, but I will cut sentences of Japanese in half just because you can read them on the screen and see the whole sentence sometimes.
Yeah, so it's
without
a bit of
me
a
having
cheat.
to include all of the audio to that sentence, and I can save seconds and get you, like, things like, you know, better action shots and stuff like that in place of that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, honestly, it's a benefit to you as the YouTube viewers if we're watching something subbed, even if you're not usually a fan of subs, because you can see more of the cool action shots and stuff that way.
Yeah. All right, well, we got Steins Gate episode 3 queued up here. Let's go ahead and get it up on screen. Abdomen. And let's give it a watch. Here we go.
橋田さんに聞いてきたんです。
この三次元女の色化に惑わされて貴様許さんぞこのビーチが
Wow!
You can't tell me that was funny in the English version.
どこへ行く
本当は私が刺されたのを見たというのは事実なのか。
I like that transition. That's a good transition. I like that one.
中はグズグズね。足はない。
ならそう言えバナナぐらい恵んでやる
いりません。誰が変態のバナナなんて食べるもんですか。
Again with the wordplay, damn it.
食べるもんですからって
Don't!
もう一度お願いできるできたら悔しそうな顔で
悔しそうな。
No! Don't!
何が若くなっている
どうやらあなたたち二人とも変態みたいね。
いや
Well, yeah.
むしろ変態な想像した方が変態だろう
正直セクハラですぐに訴えてもいいレベルだけど今は不問にしておく。
今
だから詳しく教えて。
クリスティーナとか言ったな
一言も言っとらんわ。
この電話レンジカッコ仮の秘密を知るには条件があるこの未来ガジェット研究所のラボメンになってもらう俺が貴様に行ったセクハラ行為を全て不問にしろ以上だ変態同士の視察戦燃えるだ変態
分かったわ。条件を
Like, shut the fuck up.
もう変態禁止。
ラボメンナンバー004クレサテーナだ
ティーナも禁止。あれお客さんお邪魔してます。マキセ・クリスです。いきなり押しかけてきてごめんなさい。シーナもゆりです。女の子のラボメンだそんなに珍しいの彼氏以外では初めての女の子のラボメンです
だからレンジから稲妻みたいなのが出ていつの話だ昨日の昼だったかな
Oh!
メールを送った時お前の携帯は電話レンジカッコ仮にあれ1週間前じゃん違うあれは昨日の昼に
再現してみた方が良さそうね。
前に ジューシー唐揚げナンバーワンをここへ。
みんなも食べる？一個ずつならあげてもいいよ。入れる必要あるの？
逆回転時、中に入っているものの半分。文面はそうだな。クリスティーナは変態で。
変態禁止って言っただろ。
じゃあ間取って、オカリンはインター。
Don't you...
橋田さん、グッジョブ。
Don't. Woo!
電磁波の力か。
バカ言わないで。電子レンジの電磁波がこんな短時間で机あるなんてありえない。
どうする？ブラウン氏に見つかったらシャレで済まないレベル。受信日時7月24日17時半。間違いない過去に。房からちぎられたバナナは房へと戻った。メールは5日前へと送られた。この電話レンジカッコ仮は
A time machine.
タイムマシンだ。
Yep. I knew it.
13件先行の。ああ、そうだった。シャイニングフィンガーと名付けたんだった。なんでゲルバナにならなくなったんだ？知るか。メールを送れたのはあれ1回きりだしな。って出て行ったきりなんだからな。何だったんだろう。なんだこれは。LHC。セルンとはなんだ。タイターは言っていた。セルンが2034年までにタイムマシンを完成させると。欧州素粒子原子核研究機構の略称。本部はジュネーブ郊外。使い方次第でミニブラックホールができるかもって噂もあったよ
In
ね。
which they actually did. They actually did create like a small singularity.
奴らの悪事を暴き、タイムマシンについてのヒントを手に入れろ。
I knew I was not the only one that thought they were evil supervillains.
じゃあもしかしてセルンっていうのはその闇の機関のこと？
なぜそれを？
ごめん、実は話し声聞こえてきちゃってさ。
IBN5100 とかいうレトロパソコンにやたら執着している女がいてな。
IBN？
知っているのか？
タイムトラベラーとかいう人はジョン・タイターだっけ？
タイター？
なんかアットチャンネルに書いてたよ。 IBN5100 はベーシック言語ができる以前に作られたパソコンだから。
Bye.
This is like the nerdiest anime I think I've ever watched.
時間の概念について、例えば私が過去へ戻って A という人物を殺したとします。するとダイバージェンスと呼ばれる数値に変動が起こり、世界線は A という人物のいない世界へ人々の記憶は再構築されます。つまり A という人物がいた以前の世界線の記憶は消去され、セルンの言うことを安易に信じてはいけません。すでに彼らはマイクロブラックホール生成に成功しています。
They actually were caught lying about that, and they actually did create a small singularity.
18世紀に戻ったといえば
IBN5100 が必要だというのか。
そうなります。私のメールアドレスです。連絡いただければお返事します。
Is this anime?
Huh?
Is this anime gonna end up being like Homestuck in terms of how we have to figure it out? Like,
聞いたから差し入れ買ってきたよ。
Aw,
じゃーん。
that's sweet.
おお、おでん缶か。ありがたい。
スーパーハッカー魂がメラメラバーニングしちゃってるね。
ハクって言うな。
Well, at least he got hit, not her.
そうなんだよね。
He got it.
ほら、観念して俺の前に全部晒しやがるっての。管理者の ID じゃなければ見られる範囲は限られるっつうか、おっぱいしか見えない的な。
タルくんエッチだね。
内容は
タイムマシンって単語はないけど Z プログラムって単語がここ1ヶ月で100回以上使われている。実験結果
Success. Whoa.
マイズデッドミスマッチ。
人が
Someone died.
死んだ。
Ooh.
I don't know. This show's kind of creeping me out a little bit.
Kind of, yeah. I
It's
mean,
just like the real world like links to it and stuff, and it's like it's kind of creepy. Like it's making me like even more creeped out by CERN. Like,
well, again,
it's like not like really, but you
Well-
know, it's like this is like I'm almost like this is gonna get like some horror vibes. I feel like
I
just
think so,
linking the
too.
real world so closely.
well, a lot of people who've tuned into the first reaction that we released of this, a lot of people have said, say goodbye to your mind for a little while. And I'm just like, It's not like I had one to begin with. I mean, it's just part of it. But
Does this show turn people into conspiracy theorists?
oh, I have no doubt about it, because I've had my conspiracy theories about CERN, and I've entertained them with certain people who I'm not going to name because I don't want to name drop them here. But I'll just say this: they're practically family, and we have discerned, no pun intended, that CERN, where it is not a let's see, let me look at real quick of CERN's origins. CERN. Oh, there it is. CERN. There we are. A European Organization for Nuclear Research. European Research Organization that established in 1954 of the Franco-Swiss border. Okay. So, CERN's main... That's weird. Switzerland. It's in Switzerland, and Switzerland is not part of the European Union. So where it's not part of the European Union, it is not liable.
Also, just notice that they spell it different in the anime than they do in real life.
Well, I guarantee you they did that
SCRN.
to prevent getting sued.
Yeah, probably.
CERN is also the birthplace of the World Wide Web. So, yeah.
Really?
Yes. It's...
Really?
Yes. I know, right?
It's not suspicious in any way, shape, or form.
Absolutely not. Also, that's the thing about CERN, about Switzerland. Switzerland, where it's not part of the European Union, it's not liable for its public release laws. Therefore, it doesn't have to give away everything that it's done in terms of its breakthroughs. Like
Therefore,
with government
hence
entities.
why no superheroes were sent to stop them from possibly destroying the world.
Yeah. The construction of the Large Hadron Collider. Let's see. They had...
Wait, did you say the destruction?
Huh? The destruction.
What?
Or construction, sorry.
Construction. Okay.
I think, yeah, construction of
Okay.
the Large Hadron Collider.
I was gonna say, what? It got destroyed? What happened? Well,
Yeah, the largest and highest energy particle collider. It was built by, CERN between 1998 and 2008. So a 10-year project and 17 miles of tunnel underneath the France and Switzerland border near Geneva, up to 574 feet deep. Jesus. And it can wow, first collisions achieved in 2010 at the energy of 3.5 tera electron volts. That's immense. That is, by the end of 2018, it entered a 2-year shutdown period for further upgrades. Further upgrades, you say? And here's the thing: 2010 was the first year of its tests. Steins Gate was released in, I believe, 2010 or 2011. So it was around the time CERN basically just, the long shutdown. It's currently shut down for upgrades. And then findings and discoveries, the Alice detector, CMS. So, quark gluon plasma, the densest matter known to exist besides black holes. So, that's actually kind of terrifying. The densest material. Let's see. Batomium. On 2 muons. Ooh, okay. So achieved rare decay, supersymmetry theories, standard model. And again, the bosons. The thing about it is, the bosons are basically what keep what. There's different theories about what the bosons are, like the Higgs boson and all that. Basically, if you're able to penetrate the field, like the Higgs boson field, you'll potentially be able to go to another plane of existence or another multiverse. That's what they say. But they haven't completed that test yet. Again, dude, it's pretty terrifying stuff.
And see, that's the whole thing too. Is it's like they're trying to do that now. Like they're trying to open a black hole. Now they're trying to like penetrate into an alternate dimension and
potentially.
shit.
Well, that's the thing.
And it's like
potentially because they
potentially,
don't know.
but it's like that's like the shit that happened in Half-Life, like the fucking resonance cascade. You know?
Well, dude, that's what because people have seen that. People
It's like
have seen that
CERN
in
is
fiction, and
basically
they're just
Black
like,
Mesa.
Oh shit. Well, yeah. I mean, basically.
And at some point, I feel like they're gonna fuck all of us.
Well, you do know that America was at the forefront of nuclear research for the better part of 30 to 40 years, you know, from the 1930s and 40s all the way up until the 80s. But then all of a sudden when Chernobyl happened, everyone got, like, a lot of people got cold feet, especially politicians, because everyone was afraid, oh, nuclear disasters like Chernobyl, they'll happen all the time. But instead, no, nuclear disasters like Chernobyl happen because of the Russian government not wanting to do health and safety measures because they could literally care less about their populace. Go fucking figure. And pretty much every nuclear plant built since 1968 or 69 has been rated safe and it's basically impossible for it to experience a nuclear meltdown and result in something like Chernobyl. It's basically impossible. And I know people are going to, what about 2011 in Fukushima? Yeah, the Fukushima disaster resulted in the death of one person by radiation. One person. And it was an old man who volunteered to stay on the floor and pretty much like take all the radiation so that the younger ones could escape. That dude's a hero in my book. That dude deserves every recommendation and every commendation that humanity can afford to give. But the fact that he was the only one who died from radiation poisoning, and the fact that Fukushima, everything basically went wrong, I mean, and he was the only one who died from radiation, is a testament to how safe nuclear energy is. Versus solar.
Except for the fact that he still died, like, you know.
Well,
So.
No, dude, but that's the thing. He didn't have to do that. He didn't have to stay on the floor, but he did. He did.
And
because
if he hadn't
stayed on the floor, then basically, it would have achieved meltdown, and others would have gotten hit with radiation. But instead, where he was the one who basically stayed
if
there,
no one was willing to
if there were
sacrifice
other people
their own life,
well, no,
then
there
it would
were
have been
people-
even worse. So hence, it's not really safe.
Dude, no form of energy is safe. People die all the time from solar because, hey, guess how many people died last year from falling off of roofs installing solar panels? More people have died from that in the last 5 years than all people in major nuclear incidents in the last 50 years.
What I wonder though is like how many people exactly would have been affected if he hadn't have sacrificed himself.
Well, if he wouldn't have sacrificed himself, then others would have potentially gotten radiation poisoning. But he didn't want anyone else younger than him, or anyone young, to get affected by it. So effectively,
is it bad enough that like it would have taken out like the whole area, or just like the people on the plant?
Basically, the plant would have effectively not ceased function, and more people might have lost power and would have died that way in hospitals and stuff like that. But he stayed on the floor and kept the plant running. I mean, dude, he saved more lives than could have died from the plant melting down. I mean, because it's impossible for plants to melt down and exude nuclear radiation like they used to, because there are safety measures in place that prevent it from happening. The concrete and everything that's around nuclear, the nuclear isotopes that are used in the plants are basically fail-safe, and the only way to crack it open is to literally hit on it with a jackhammer until you basically break into where the core is. That's it. And no one's stupid enough to do that. I mean, man, when it comes to energy, I think nuclear is the safest option by far, compared to gas and compared to coal. Because we're not yet at the point where humanity can exist just off solar panels and wind power. We're not there yet.
Yeah.
But I think...
Texas proved recently there's a big problem with wind power.
Well, yeah. I mean...
And if you have a sudden climate thing, which everybody is worried about happening anyways, like that all your power goes out for an undisclosed amount of time.
Yeah. And again, dude, Texas, I mean, in truth, I think nuclear energy could be used by the masses for an X amount of time until we're able to perfect graphene. When we're able to perfect graphene, then energy transfer and energy storage will change forever. And instead of depending on lithium-ion batteries, instead we're just using graphene from then on. And graphene can store 100-fold what lithium-ion can, and it can transfer energy 50 times what cobalt can in terms of solar panels. So
I'd love to have that in my wireless headset.
I'd like for that to be the standard. But until graphene is fully accepted by the scientific community and all the research is dumped into it, I was expecting Tesla to make an announcement that they were buying up one of the manufacturers of graphene, one of the manufacturers and researchers on graphene, and they were going to start developing graphene batteries for their Tesla cars, because graphene is completely safe and it's non-explosive, non-corrosive, and basically all it does is it just holds energy better than any other material. It's a literal wonder material. And I was expecting Elon Musk to just be like, we're going to start investing $5 billion a year in research on graphene, and hopefully within the next 5 to 10 years we'll have batteries that are renewable and that will hold charge and will last a lot longer than the regular lithium-ion batteries. That's what I was expecting. That's what I was hoping. But yeah, again, dude. And graphene's practical applications in the real world, it's I think 15 to 20 times stronger than steel. So if you were to get sheets of it all stacked on top of each other and basically make it into I-beams and stuff like that, then you could have buildings that last eons by comparison, instead of the steel breaking down, which steel has a half-life of, I believe, a few hundred years, whereas graphene, where it's literal graphite, its carbon breakdown rate is exponentially higher than the carbon atoms that exist in steel. I mean, it's crazy, man. That stuff blows me away whenever I see it. But I think if we were to use nuclear for the next 20 to 25 years, that's why France's air is so clean. Did you know that? Mm-hmm. France, 100% of its energy comes from nuclear, and they actually send the rest to the other grids in Europe because they have a surplus. And if we had nuclear plants powering us here, to where we didn't have to, depend on coal and oil and all that to sustain ourselves, and thus pumping greenhouse gas into the system of the planet, I mean, I'd be down for that. I mean,
Don't we have one near us?
What?
A nuclear plant.
Let's see. I think the closest one, I know there's one that's being built in Georgia.
I thought there was one in our state.
Nuclear plants. Okay, here we are. Nuclear power plants. Closest one is between Decatur and Spring City in Tennessee. That's about another 2 hours outside. That's about another 2-3 hours outside of Knoxville. Yeah, we have. We have two in our state. We have one outside of Chattanooga and one in between Chattanooga and Knoxville. That's it. But the one that's opening in Georgia, yeah, right there, the one outside of Augusta, that one's going to provide power to Augusta and I think Atlanta as well. Yeah, it's going to provide a shit ton of power to Atlanta and Augusta. So that's a big thing. But again, dude, nuclear fear that exists in the world comes from the paranoia of nuclear weapons and also nuclear meltdowns. Which, again, dude, Chernobyl is the biggest example of things going wrong, but it's just not like the amount of people who've died from nuclear versus the amount of people of nuclear power who have died from that versus like coal and gas and even solar. It's actually hilarious. Well, it's not hilarious, but it's ironic. Yeah. But anyway, I think that's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to move into the next episode. So this was Steins Gate episode 3, Parallel Process Paranoia. So hopefully we'll see you all in the next one. And until then, I'm Nate.
I'm Nick.
We'll see you then, everybody. Peace out.